All right, NFL Week 4 predictions. Now, obviously, this is after the Thursday night game, but that was my score prediction. Not going to talk about that much. The only thing I would say is that the Cowboys, while they did get away with a win, sounds like DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons might be out for a few weeks, which would be absolutely brutal for them. And they have a tough schedule coming up, so they got away with the win, but they might be in for some tough times ahead. Now, let's get into it. We got the Bengals Panthers. Now Bengals 0-3. Panthers coming off of a big win where they kind of destroyed the Raiders. Red Rifles cooking. I think that this is kind of like the do or die here for the Bengals, and they've been hanging in these games. Like offensively, they didn't even punt or turn over the ball against the Commanders, and they still lost. You know, Jaden Daniels had a masterclass of a game, but their defense usually in the last few years has been way better than what we've seen. They lost to the Chiefs because of a penalty at the end of a 4th and 16 game. It was a legit penalty, but that's kind of, kind of an unfortunate way to lose. I do think they get the ship corrected here, and they get a pretty convincing win. It's now or never. If they don't get this game, then their season's chalked. So, yeah, I don't think the Red Rifle is going to get his revenge against the Bengals in this one. All right, Saints at the Falcons. Saints 2-1. Falcons are 1-2. Had a very close loss to the Chiefs on Sunday night. The Saints are coming into this one with a couple key players banged up. I think Kamara's going to play. It sounds like, but Chris Olave, I didn't even know he was injured until today. But I just saw like a report that he traveled with the team to Atlanta, so that's good, and that he has a chance to play. So even if he plays, that's like kind of how much of a factor is he going to be? Is he going to be more of a decoy? So a little banged up. They had a bit of a reality check against the Eagles last week. I thought they were going to win, but I don't know. The Saints, they're a tough team. Every time I pick them, man, I lose. So I'm probably going to lose this one, but I just think the Falcons are going to even this up. Big divisional game here. They're at home. Kind of need this one. You don't want to drop to 1-3. I think Bijan finally might have a. He's been running really well, but he just hasn't like fantasy wise had that breakout game. It's really not yardage; it's just touchdowns. So I could see him kind of carrying the load here in this one. All right, Jaguars at Texans. I'm going with the Texans winning this one, 30-17. Jaguars 17 might even be a little bit too high for them. They've been abysmal. They haven't shown much fight. They don't have much juice. They don't got much life in them. They're 0-3. They should be a lot better. Trevor Lawrence needs to show that he's a lot better after that contract they gave him. If he doesn't soon, they could find themselves in a very Daniel Jones-esque contract situation. And also, Doug Peterson, if they get blown out in another game or two, he might be gone quick. He might be the first coach getting fired this season. So the Texans do have a few guys who are banged up. Mixon, I think, is out again. Nico Collins was questionable early in the week. He's good to go. Tank Dell is out, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. This Jaguars defense is beat up, especially on the back end, and they are just getting sliced through like butter. So I think the Texans are going to have no problem with the weapons they still have putting up points, and defensively they are good enough to keep the Jaguars from doing much of anything. So another rough one for the Jags coming, and keep an eye on Doug Peterson's job. All right. Jets, Broncos. Broncos got a big win against Tampa, killing my eliminator last week. Jets are 2-1. Seems like offensively, they haven't had that breakout game yet, but they've been really. Aaron Rodgers has been playing just consistent, efficient football, starting to get it going. Moving the ball well. They got two good backs they can use. At home again, chance to get up to 3-1 here after losing their first game. I know the Broncos look better. They showed a little life offensively finally, but they're playing a good defense on the road. Jets, I think, will be able to move the ball and score just enough. I think in this one, my guess is the Jets are going to be up more than 23-16. Sorry, the Jets are going to be up 23 to let's just say 10, and then maybe the Broncos get a last-second touchdown to make it look better than it actually was. But yeah, we'll see. I think if Denver can win this one, then they are legit turning it around. But I don't see that happening. So. Vikings Packers. This has become a really interesting one. You got the Vikings who are 3-0, looking like maybe the best team in football. Certainly defensively, they might be the best team in football. The Packers, they lose Jordan Love. They've won 2 convincing games now in a row with Malik Willis, who's looked good. Jordan Addison is back for the first time since week 1. and it sounds like Jordan Love has a very legitimate chance to play. Um, Even if he does, though, I can't keep picking against the Vikings after seeing what this defense has been doing to elite offenses. Holding the Texans to 7 points, beating the 49ers. I just can't keep. I know the Packers are legit. I know they're one of the best teams right now, but I just can't, especially Jordan Love's first game back. I usually, if there's two good offenses, you just kind of go with who's the elite defense, and to me, that is the Vikings. So I got to go with them, 26-20. All right, Steelers Colts. To me, this is the ultimate um, Steelers kind of game to win here because the Colts defense is very weak right now. Not good, especially on the back end. I think George Pickens finally has a big game, statistically speaking, at least. Um, Anthony Richardson is going to turn over the ball. He does it against whoever they're playing, but against this Steelers defense, he's going to be in hell. And this could be even more of a blowout than 24-17, depending on how many big mistakes he makes. Um, but yeah, this is like the perfect game. This is the perfect opponent, I think, for Pittsburgh to play. Like, they have no problem just slowly grinding you out and waiting for you to make a mistake, and they capitalize on those. So I'm very confident. This will be my lock of the week. This would not be my survivor pick, but it's gonna be my lock of the week game this week. So Steelers could go to 4-0. Rams at the Bears. The Rams had a pretty crazy comeback win against the 49ers late in the game last week that kind of, I think, saved their season. If you drop to 0-3, I know they're just completely injury riddled, but if you drop to 0-3, I mean, it's tough to come back from that. And, they're not getting a main core of their guys back for another few weeks. So that was a big win. They found a way to kind of get the run game going finally. Kyren Williams ended up having 3 touchdowns total. The Bears are just a frustrating team to watch right now offensively. Shane Waldron, I keep hammering this home, guys. Like, I'm a Seahawks fan. I watched every single game, and I hated the way that he used our running backs, and I hated the way that he used. I mean, I guess really just every skill position because we had 3 elite receivers or good receivers, and he used them terribly. And the same thing seems to be happening kind of in Chicago. Also, they have 0 running game, just 0. Doesn't stick with the running game, gives up on it extremely easily. Um, Caleb was going through some growing pains. He showed, I think, some improvements last week, just being able to complete more passes and pushing the ball downfield a little bit. Maybe those training wheels are coming off. But I do think they're getting Keenan Allen back, so this will be kind of the first time we're going to see him with their full set of guys. Maybe since week 1. I don't remember if he played week 1. I think he did, but so we'll see if he can make some improvements. It's not like this Rams defense is elite. But I just kind of believe in the better coaching that the Rams have and finding a way to kind of edge out a close game. So I'm going with the Rams 20-17. Eagles Bucks. Man, the Bucks really broke my heart last week. We saw that wild card round game last year where the Bucks dismantled the Eagles, but that's a different time, different coaching, different players. So I'm not going to go off of that. I will say, the Eagles are down Devonta Smith, and I don't know. AJ Brown's legitimately questionable. Don't know if he's going to play, but if they don't have either of them, all you can rely on is Saquon Barkley, which if you're the Bucks defense, then you can pretty much just key on stopping the run. Then good luck. I mean, I don't know how you're going to move the ball. So I'm going to assume AJ doesn't play when I'm making this pick. I'm going to pick the Bucks 21-17. If he does play, that is massive for them. And I would probably flip to the Eagles. Sorry, voice crack. It's that big of a difference. But I'm going to pretend he is not playing, and I'm going to go with the Bucks on this one at home. Patriots 49ers. It's in San Fran. God, 49ers have to be pissed. They let that one go last week. And the the Patriots just got kind of ran through by the Jets. They just got dismantled. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't stop Jets, defensively. I think this is like the perfect game for the 49ers to just kind of grind it out slowly, and this before you know it, it's just out of reach. I wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots, my score prediction of 9 there is basically saying they're going to only be able to get 3 field goals, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe they get 1 touchdown, but they're not going to be able to put points on the board against this 49ers defense. Debo might be back this week. I'm not sure. I think he might actually be, which would be big for them. But hell, even if he's not, Jawan Jennings is kind of going wild. So this is the perfect game for the Niners to just play their grindy style of football, and slowly by the end of the game, wow, they won by 20 points. So another rough one for the Patriots coming. All right, Washington at Arizona. This is kind of like a sneaky, exciting game here. Washington 2-1, coming off a big win against the Bengals. Jaden Daniels was lighting it up. All signs are saying that they got their franchise quarterback. Then you got the Cardinals, who have been playing better than expected. I would say they're feisty. Um, Cliff Kingsbury coming back to Arizona, trying to get his revenge. They haven't had to punt in 2 games. That's insane. Trey McBride is out for the Cardinals, but Washington's defense is horrid. It's so bad. The Bengals didn't have to punt either in that game. So I'm just going to go with, Arizona's going to be able to put up a ton of points. Washington's going to be able to score a lot as well. But I think that maybe Arizona's defense might be slightly better. I say that very matter of fact, just slightly, because neither one of these defenses are very good. But I'm just going to give them a slight edge in this one, that they can just throw it maybe all over Washington's secondary. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is in for a monster day again, and maybe his best day yet, which would be saying something after his Week 2 performance. So Arizona could get back to 500 here. Kansas City at the Chargers. I haven't heard much about Herbert, but I'm pretty sure he's not playing this week. I should probably check that out before I do this, but I'm just going to go with the fact that he's not playing, and both of his tackles are banged up, and Joey Bosa's banged up like he always is, and they're just down bad. They're not going to win this football game. Defensively, the Chiefs' offense still hasn't been quite as explosive as I was thinking they were going to be this year. 24-13. I just, you don't have Herbert, you don't have either of your great offensive tackles. It's just going to be hard to move the ball offensively. So rough one for the Chargers, but get healthy and get back to grinding that football, and they'll be back and they'll be fine. Browns, Raiders. These are 2 teams that I always pick the game wrong, but I did originally have the Raiders picked. But I saw that Max Crosby and Devontae Adams are out. So your best defensive player and your best offensive player are both out. Tough to pick a team when that's the case, when they don't have that much outside of those guys, especially offensively. So I'm going to give old Deshaun one more chance to get these things going right. Still think the Browns offense just isn't going to score a lot of points. I mean, they're not lighting it up by any means. Browns defense is still decent. They've been a little bit disappointing to me, but I think part of that's just been how bad their offense has been. Hasn't been helping them out as much. So 20 Browns, 13 Raiders. Raiders are going to be down bad here, 1-3. Not, I don't know what people would expect with their quarterback situation, though. They do have a lot of young pieces that you can be kind of excited about, but I would maybe trade Devontae Adams, get what you can for him, and start over new next year with a new quarterback. Bills 31, Ravens 20. This is the Sunday night game. Really exciting game, I think. I do think the Bills are going to win, though. The Ravens have not been playing very good, consistent football, and the Bills have been lighting it up. I think we're seeing the best version of Josh Allen that we've seen, which is saying something. He looks confident out there. He's not forcing it. They have a run game. Defensively is kind of shocking to me. They've been playing a lot better than I expected, because they got a lot of young pieces. You lose your starting safeties. You lose Tre'Davious White. And you kind of just got a lot of new pieces there. I got Bills 31, Ravens 20. Excited for this one on Sunday Night Football. Titans, Dolphins. There's not much to talk about in this one. Tyler Huntley is starting for the Dolphins, which I actually think is better than what they've had. You can run the ball a little bit, and if you can just get the ball out to your playmakers, that's great and all. Will Levis makes a boneheaded decision every single time you watch him play, and I'm sure he'll do it again in this one. I've picked the Titans. This will be the 3rd game I've picked them in this year. Probably going to be the 3rd loss that I have, so we'll see. Not going to be watching this game on Monday night, I'll tell you that much. Seahawks, Lions, what a great matchup. This is a game I originally picked the Seahawks, not because I'm a homer, but I just honestly, they've gotten the best of the Lions recent years. But they are down Boye Mafe, Uchenna Nwosu, Leonard Williams, and Byron Murphy on their defensive line. That is a terrible matchup to have against a very good Detroit offensive line and running game. You're down 4 starters on your defensive line / edge rushers. It's going to be tough for them to stop the run, and that's the only reason I am going with the Lions in this one. All right, that's the Week 6 predictions. Thank you guys for watching. Tell me who you're picking this week in the comments, and we'll see how this turns out.